Welcome back. It is Game Points here on TSN 690, our baseball special. Until 8 o'clock tonight, talking about the state of baseball in Canada. As we are joined in studio by San Francisco Giants scout and NDG baseball technical director Ray Callari. We're also joined in studio by Alex Agostino of Baseball Quebec and the Philadelphia Phillies. And right now on the phone, we are joined by Hall of Fame baseball writer of the Toronto Sun. You can also check out his work on the Canadian Baseball Network's website, which is just the best place online to see all about baseball players from this country and how they're doing. You can also follow him on twitter.com/Elliott Bob. It is Bob Elliott. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Hey, man. How you doing, guys? Hello, Raimondo.
How are you, sir?
How's it going, Bob?
Excellent.
All right.
So I take it you know Ray and Alex.
It's a pleasure to know Alex.
Oh, ouch. All right.
And Raimondo.
Well,
we love Bob, by the way. Baseball in Canada is big because of him, that's for sure.
now, Bob, just to let you know, Ray brought his brand new World Series ring in studio. It's quite flashy.
He played a big role in it, and he's well deserving of it.
All right.
I appreciate that. I'll give you your money after the show.
And he was. I remember writing a story last year. How well the Giants treated. You took your son, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, I know you're prepping for the Blue Jays game tonight, so I want to get right to it. Obviously, the Canadian Baseball Network, if the fans don't know about this website, please tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it kind of was born out of, I guess I used to run a draft list for similar to Baseball America. And I don't know, it was 95, I don't know what year I started, probably about 90 to 95, and it would run in the paper. And so anyway, do you remember Jan LaChapelle?
Yes, I do.
That was 96, I think. So,
Yeah, 96, 97.
So anyway, the first 5 guys I handed in on the list, there was nobody from our area, like Oakville to Oshawa. So the guy says, he says, we're not running it. I said, well, I'm not making up a fake list. I said, that's the best 5. You know, there was a guy from BC and, I don't know, maybe Alberta and Quebec, whatever. I said, he said, well, we're not running it. So I tried again 2 weeks later with another guy. He said, we're not running it. So the third guy said, well, you know, they got this thing starting over across the street. It's called the Internet. And I said, well, we called it Canoe. And I said, what's Canoe? And he said, well, it's part of the Internet. And I said, oh. So I go over there. I met with a guy, and, you know, it started with just the draft list. And then the guy said, well, why don't you put together a list of Canadians in college? That might have been a year later. And I think the first year was 490. And I think... I don't know, maybe the last 6 or 7 years it's been over 700, whereas this is a good bet you can win and you go into a next Pee Wee hockey game, you go into the rink, you can ask somebody, do you think there's more kids getting part of their schooling paid for playing hockey or playing baseball? Baseball wins 720 to about 500.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's, you know, for kids with an option, you know, to get and to go, I mean, I know we have baseball in universities here, but like my son played at Laurier, and they play like 14 games, and there just isn't the time frame to have makeups, you know. So if you can go south and play 60 games, and if you can find the right fit, by all means, it's a good option. They do more. The U.S. does more for the student athlete as a country than we do.
Chatting with Bob Elliott, and you can follow him on twitter.com/Elliott Baseball. I said Elliott Bob earlier. It is Elliott Baseball. And the website he's talking about is CanadianBaseballNetwork.com. So, Bob, in your coverage on that website, how are you finding what is happening in this country in terms of development of baseball players? Are we on a downslide? Is it an uptick? And what are you seeing out there?
I think at the top it's you know, the big league level. I think it's a golden era. I mean, you're up there. by the end of the season, the September call-ups and everything like that, I think you'll probably be like 25, 26 big leaguers. The first year I figured out how many Canadians were in the minor leagues, it was 1995, and it was 55 guys. 5 years later, or no, it was about 8 years later, the number was 110. Well, that's growth, And I think the number right now is 68, but the short season leagues will start about a week after the draft. And I think it's the result of the national team program, which Greg Hamilton started. It started years and years ago, but what Greg Hamilton did in '99 was he took the team to Disney in April, and they play against the first and second year guys that extended spring training, and then he added the trip last week to the Dominican, and then they added the fall trip to Disney to play these extended guys. And scouts have told me it's much more easier to scout Canada, the Canadian high schoolers who make that team, than it is to fly into Pennsylvania or Ohio, and you got a stud pitcher on one team and you got a stud hitter on the other team, and the coach has told him his pitcher, don't let number 8 beat you. Don't throw him a strike. We got to win this game. We're in the state championships. But to be scouted like Brett Laurie, I think he had over 200 at bats in his 3 years with the national team on those 3 trips a year against pro pitching. And where he really made his mark it would have been 5 years ago last weekend. He hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader of 5 fastballs, 90 miles an hour. You're not going to see that in Pennsylvania. You might see it in Florida. You might see it in California. But and of course it goes the reason these guys, that's the exposure. But the reason they're better, it goes back to the grassroots level. In every province, and in your province, it would go back to guys like Alex and Ray for their instructions and their camps and their teaching. I think they could probably comment on Quebec a lot better than I could about today versus 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Bob, with all your vast knowledge in terms of baseball in this country, give me your take on the market of Montreal as a viable or non-viable professional baseball market for Major League Baseball.
I think it'd be an excellent marketplace. I think if you can't tell me all the times I would go to St. Petersburg, you can't tell me that there would be more people that would. Tampa Bay is in the postseason, and they're it's like 75% sold out. I was there in '81; it was sold out at the Olympic Stadium. This St. Petersburg's a bad market, and so is Miami. You guys have probably discussed Laurie ad nauseum, but the thing is, when the team left, you can correct me, but the dollar was, what was it, 65 cents, 63 cents?
Somewhere around there, yes. Probably 63, 64.
Now it's flip a coin. These American writers come in and they say, I changed my money at the airport, and I got the same amount of money back. How does that work? And I said, we're making a strong comeback. So this is the last few years, so I don't know where it is today, but we get our money in American when we travel, so I never really know the rate. But when you see it when you hear it on the news, the dollar's up a quarter or a point or whatever. It's not like 63 cents like it used to be. In fact, they used to have all these, they call Toronto Hollywood North because of the big gap in the dollar, and well, guess what? Nobody's coming because it's too expensive here to film movies.
And so. Is it just a matter of Tampa Bay finally getting sick of that market, or is it expansion in 5, 7, 8 years? I mean, what do you see happening if Montreal gets back on the scene?
I would think it would have to be. You'd have to have a stadium in place first, and then I think it would be better for relocation. Because I don't know of another place. I mean, I've heard Portland in the past, and there's a lot of money there with Nike, but I don't know if they have the population. So I would think it would be better off relocating a bad franchise to get back to where it should be. And the thing is, if Montreal had not been a success, there wouldn't be any Toronto Blue Jays, and they paid testament to that fact in their first World Series game. The guy that threw it the first ball wasn't anybody from Toronto. It wasn't any longtime employee. It wasn't the guy that got the first home run or anything. It was Charles Bronfman.
Wow, that's interesting. A long forgotten fact, but nonetheless very significant. Bob, we thank you so much for spending some time with us. Elliott Baseball on Twitter.com or check out CanadianBaseballNetwork.com. A great resource if you're a baseball fan living in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, anywhere really, and you want to see what's happening in this country in terms of baseball. That is the destination. There really isn't any other one. Bob, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Guys, you want to say bye?
Bob, have a great night and keep up your good work. That's a great website for all fans and for scouts.
Okay, thank you, Alex.
You know I still love you, buddy. Don't worry. I know you talk bad about me, but I still love you.
Yeah, but just to your face.
See you later. Great job. Continue the great job.
All right. There you go. Thanks. Thanks so much, Bob. It's 7:29 here on TSN 690. We're here till the top of the hour. It's our baseball special here in studio. Ray Callari of the Giants, Alex Agostino of the Phillies. We'll talk some more baseball on the other side.